In this lesson, we will be finding length of an isosceles triangle given the perimeter. So recap, what is perimeter? Perimeter is the total distance around any shape. An isosceles triangle has two equal sides and two equal angles. The equal sides have the same markings. In other words, two equal sides and there's one side that is different. Form our isosceles triangle. Now, let's go into our example. So we're finding length of an isosceles triangle given the perimeter, and also we would also be given the length of a side, right? Now, what is the length of x on the isosceles triangle given the perimeter 34 centimeters? So here we have our perimeter of 34 centimeters, and we are also given the length of one of the sides, 10 centimeters. Now, remember it said that in the isosceles triangle you can identify the two sides that are equal. They have same marking. So where x is, there's a mark, and the side opposite x, there's another mark. So it's saying that that side that's opposite x is also going to be the same length as x. In other words, you're finding the length of those two sides. Alright, so you're already given the length of one side of the isosceles triangle. When you find x, x would also be the length of that side, would also be the length of the other side, would also be the same as the length of x. So we have our perimeter of 34 centimeters and our length of 10 centimeters to work with. Now, to find the perimeter of an isosceles triangle, we found the sum of all three sides. So side plus side plus side is equal to our perimeter. Now, in this case, we're not finding perimeter, we're finding our length of side x. Technical. Now, x is equal to perimeter minus that side. So the side that we know. So we know that there's a side 10. So in other words, we're going to minus 10 from our perimeter. So perimeter 34 centimeters, or distance around, minus that length that we know that we are given. 34 minus 10. And then what we get from that, we would divide it by 2. Because remember, when we subtract that 10, it's going to give us the remaining length, and that length that we're going to get would be the length of the missing sides. Remember, we have two sides, so we're finding for x, but it would be about like 2 x's. Okay, so that's why we're dividing by 2, because it's going to be, that length is going to be divided by 2, because we were given 1. Although we said x here means the two sides. So 34 minus 10 will give us 24, and that 24 would be divided by 2. When we divide it by 2, we have x. We have 12 centimeters. Remember, if we had just stayed with 24, that 24 would not be correct. But remember, x, and on the other side would also be x, and we were only given the length of one side. So when we subtract that one side from the perimeter, the result we get would be both sides, and being that the both sides would be equal, we divide by 2. So we have 12 centimeters each for each side. So x would be 12 centimeters. So if x is 12, the other side opposite x would also be 12. Now we can double check. So note, we divided by 2 because the triangle is an isosceles with two sides that are equal. So here we have 12 plus 12, which was the 24 that was divided by 2 for the two sides, plus the 10, the side we know. When we add them, we have our distance around, which is 24. And remember, in a triangle, we have 3 sides, and we have to add the sum of 3 sides to get our perimeter. Alright, so here we have our side of 12. So x is 12, side opposite is also 12 because those sides are equal. Now let's practice. Now let's calculate the length of x on the isosceles triangle given the side 7 centimeters and perimeter 67 centimeters. So again, here we are given the length of one side, which is 7 centimeters. We are not given the length, and we have to find the length of those two sides that are of the same length, right? And we have our perimeter of 67. So here we go. Perimeter 67 minus the length that we're given divided by 2. 67 take away 7, we have 60 centimeters. That 60 centimeters has to be divided by 2, because that's 60, that's the sum of both sides added together, the two equal sides. So we have to divide them equally by 2. When we divide by 2, we get 30 centimeters. So one x would be 30 centimeters, and the next x would also be 30 centimeters, which would be that 60 that we got when we had minus our length that was given 7 from our perimeter. We can check back, so we add 30 plus 7, and we would get back our perimeter of 67 centimeters. So answer, length would be 30 centimeters. So another one, calculate the length of x on the isosceles triangle given the side 45 centimeters and a perimeter of 85 centimeters. So again, we have the perimeter, we give the length of the side, and we have to find those two x's, which would be same length. So working our problem again, perimeter minus the side we're given, so 85 minus 45, then divided by 2. So 85 minus 45, we got 40. 40 shared equally by 2. 40 divided by 2 will give us 20 centimeters. So that 20 is telling us that each side with x is 20 centimeters. Let's add the sum of the 3 sides, just double checking to make sure that our answer is correct. So 20 centimeters plus, or 20 centimeters plus 45 would give us our perimeter of 85 centimeters. So our length of x would be 20 centimeters.